Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. It's been a while, right? I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and I've really missed you guys. So the thing is that it's been one event or the other, one webinar today, another, symposium tomorrow, one Web3 event, all the way in Ghana, Kenya, plus work, and work is not slowing down for me, right? It's not slowing down for anybody, right? But hey, we're on a mission, and our mandate is crystal clear. We must continue to lend our voice to amplifying and just pretty much scaling the adoption of digital currencies here in Africa as a collective. And it's not exactly news that we're in a bearish market. And I do think that we have a long walk. We have a long walk before we start to build up again, right? And as you know, on Crypto Made Easy, I like to stay on, topical issues, issues that I feel like are, a lot of people are asking questions around it. And one question that I've, come to me for the past, 3 weeks would be that, Linda, do you think that Bitcoin is going to slip beneath 15K? Do you think it's going to maintain its 15 to 20K dominance? And as much as I am tempted to answer that question, yeah, I like to be very honest, so that I know you can reference this video when you're doing your research. You can absolutely say Linda said this and take it to the bank. But to answer this question, I do think that you might need to, or we as a collective might need to go back to history, right? They say those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat his mistakes. So I would say that as much as I think I have questions, answers to that, which would explore during the course of this series. I would say let us go back a bit, right? On Bitcoin particularly, right? Bitcoin price has been on a roller coaster ride since it first debuted in January 2009. But the long term trajectory has seen us on the up and on the right, which means that Bitcoin has risen and just risen from what it started out to be, right? It seems that it doesn't seem that, but I'm trying to say that Bitcoin would be touted to be that crypto that gave birth to the age of cryptocurrencies, and a lot of traders and investors have made a lot of money trading Bitcoin. And for the investors who have done well, and some traders who have done well just fine holding or hodling, as you say in crypto lingua, right? They've seen seen a lot of market gains, especially when Bitcoin makes the bullish run, right? That's why the long term rise Bitcoin has been dodged by periods where it's falling precipitously. It has fallen. What I'm trying to say, that's fallen. And the most recent has been since 2021, right? We saw Bitcoin got to 60K around November, and then around September of 2021, and then it started to fall, right? And right now we see today 19K, tomorrow 15K, next tomorrow 20K. But it has kind of swindled between 15 and 19K. Bitcoin was unleashed in the months after the global financial crisis, and it was created by a mysterious individual or persons, right? We really do not know, but there's this persona called that goes by Satoshi Nakamoto. An early proponent touted the currency's promise of moving monetary policies out of the hand of the government and central banks and into an autonomously managed system. And some are very decentralized and others struggle to maintain its centralized form. So oftentimes you'll find the whole KYC thing and all. Bitcoin famously has a maximum of 21 million coins that can ever be created. In the face of this fixed supply, an ever increasing demand can send the cryptocurrency soaring. Given these dynamics, speculators have rushed into the space to take advantage of the anticipated price appreciation, which I think is giving rise to all Linda this or Linda that. Now, in studying trade patterns, I've come to realize that every tradable commodity has a greed and a fear session or season. Let me say session. So I'm trying to say that I've come to realize that every tradable commodity has a greed and a fear season, or just let's continue to maintain the term bullish and bearish, right? So that we stay woke on things. The price of crypto, in this case Bitcoin, is notoriously driven by sentiment. When the market shifts to its greed phase, which I think would be the bullish phase, Bitcoin soars amid the utopian promise, and speculators dismiss the risk of an asset that generates no cash flow. In the fear phase, right, and the bearish phase, Bitcoin price seems to find no traction as sellers push its price lower amid bad news or general market malaise, right? Amidst all of this speculation, however, it is important to remember that Bitcoin is tough to use for everyday purchases, right? Though we kind of see that a lot of people and a lot of merchants, a lot of companies are opening up to say that, oh, we're going to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender in Central African Republic. I know that Bitcoin is a legal tender in all the way El Salvador. I also know that Bitcoin is a legal tender, and a lot of a lot of we hear what's it called? We hear of Namibia, and then we hear of all the things happening, especially on the African front, right? Major companies that introduce ways to pay with Bitcoin have quietly walked away from it initially, and I think right now I see that people are slowly coming back amidst the adoption that is soaring. Now the market has rewritten the narrative from Bitcoin as a medium of exchange to one where it's the store of value. So I would say let's stay on the prices of Bitcoin. If all we can take out from this video today would be just looking at the prices of Bitcoin from 2009 till today, then I think we would have learned something, right? So January 2009 to July 2013, Bitcoin was created, and it attracts a lot of techies, right? The new Liberty Standard Exchange recorded the first, it's recorded to be the first exchange at which Bitcoin was traded, right? In late 2009, users on the Bitcoin Talk forum traded 5,050 bitcoins for I think an equivalent of $5, right, via PayPal, making the first price mediated through an exchange a bargain basement price of I think about 99 cents. In other words, the price was about one tenth or 99. I mean, less than a cent. So in other words, I think the price was about one tenth of a cent. While Bitcoin was officially launched on the 3rd of January 2009, it was tough to find any standard pricing before mid 2010. That's because there weren't exchanges in the same way that there are today, right? However, data became available from July 2010 and continues up until now. It was in 2010 that the most expensive pizzas of all times were purchased, right? We heard the story. One Bitcoin owner offered 10,000 bitcoins for two pizzas, an offer that continues to live on Bitcoin law. But it's considered the first time that anyone used virtual currency to buy something in the real world. So that was a major milestone, right? Bitcoin saw its first major rise in 2011, then spiked again in 2013 as it continued to gain popularity. By June 2011, Bitcoin price had already hit about $30, a seemingly unimaginable rise from just months before. And that's where it topped out for the year. Bitcoin spent the remainder of 2011 just dwindling to as low as $2 before finishing the year at 4.7, I think $4 and 70 cents. After this bubble burst and a more than 90% fall from its all-time rise, all-time high, it might have seemed as if the Bitcoin fad was over. Then fast forward, Bitcoin started out 2012 and spent much of the year consolidating, slowly growing, stronger through the years. In November 2012, Bitcoin went through its first halving, right? A change in the reward structure for miners where, they receive half as many Bitcoin for mining blocks on the blockchain. Now, I have done a video on, Bitcoin halving. So if you do not understand what a halving is about or what the halving process is about, please go back and reference that video. As 2012 came to an end, Bitcoin finished at about 13, dollars and 50 cents, just off the high for the previous year. That consolidation set up Bitcoin for a strong growth in 2013 when it began to attract more notice outside a niche audience of techies and hobbyists, right? The world's first Bitcoin ATM was installed in Vancouver, allowing buyers to change fiat money for crypto. By the end of January of that 2013, Bitcoin prices had, already risen to about $20. Please stay with me because I'm trying to work my way to, the 15K, 20K that we've seen it, swindle around, and then we'll look at the macros of things and see where things are going. The momentum built from there as interest, began to spread. By early March, Bitcoin had already doubled again, rising to more than $40. A couple weeks later, it surpassed $50, and then, days later, it climbed to $60. It climbed to $70 the next day. I mean, the day after that. By the start of April 2013, Bitcoin had passed its $100 mark in a breathtaking fashion. Then 8 days later, it spiked to $230. Interesting, right? You wonder what is spiking, what is attributable to, the spike. But stay with me. August 2013 to about December 2017, Bitcoin breaks through to popular consciousness. A lot of people now, I think it broke through to mainstream, right? Mainstream media, where a lot of people now paid attention. After months of consolidating from its rise earlier in the year, Bitcoin reached new heights in November 2013, priced at about, I know, not even at about, I think it was priced at 213, dollars entering the month. Bitcoin doubled to nearly $435 just 12 days later. By the end of the month, it had nearly tripled from there, up to more than $1,200 before the year ending before the year ending, right? And I think it fell back to about $805, a real downdraft, but still up from the from what it came from, right? Late in the year, the People's Bank of China banned financial institutions from using Bitcoin. Stay with me, I'm trying to paint a story. January 2018 to December 2020, Bitcoin recovers and even soars. So a lot of people has attributed this to a lot of things. Some say COVID, some say inflation, some say recession. But stay with me, I think we would have to find out together, right? After the huge melt up of 2017, Bitcoin spent most of 2018 in a downward trend, falling throughout the year, following a brief surge, to start the year. By the end of the first quarter, Bitcoin was down nearly 50% from where it has started. It spent much of the year bouncing between 6,000, 8,000 before closing, 2018 at about $3,709, right? Down 73% of the year. By September of 2019, Bitcoin was under $10,000, and it continued to search for direction and fell until the year end, finishing out 2019 just under 7,200. Interesting, right? Bitcoin raised higher during December 2020 and closed out the year at $28,000 949 and $28,949. We try to keep the videos as short and as bite-sized as possible. However, it will be worthy of note to say that if we must find out if Bitcoin will maintain its $15 to $20 dominance, we must go back through time to rummage through the macros of what made, the price soar through the years, and what we need to look out for to actually ascertain if Bitcoin will maintain at least a 20K dominance, right? I'd like to end the video here. Keep a date with me next week. I would make it, a point of duty to finish out this video next week. Let's find out if Bitcoin will actually maintain its 19K, 15 to 20K dominance, or it will slip below 20K. Thank you so much for watching. If this video has blessed you, please do well to give us a thumbs up, like the video, and do your part by sharing. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, bye bye.